Hi, my name is Mike Conley, longtime property manager here in the East Bay. And in this short video, we're calling it Rehab 101. We're going to talk about the basics of rehab between tenants. Not while a tenant is still living there. Rehab while a tenant is present is very difficult for the vendor and for the tenant. But when a tenant moves out, there's almost always some sort of rehab that needs to take place. So let's look at the items that make up rehab. First of all, you have the front and backyard. Now, as a property manager, I've been recommending more and more to my owners, let's go with low irrigation landscaping. Rock, bark, low irrigation plants, something besides lawn and sprinklers that require a lot of water, and of course a gardener every other week. So it may cost you more in the initially for low irrigation landscaping, but in the long run it will save you a lot of money and it looks very beautiful. You must have nice front and backyards to attract a nice tenant. Then you've got your flooring. Now I recommend to all my owners, let's not go with carpet, let's instead go with laminate, which is a wood product that lasts 20 to 25 years. It costs about $5.50 a square foot installed, as opposed to carpet, which is about $2 a square foot, but needs to be replaced every few years. Laminate is the flooring that is preferred by the tenants here in the East Bay. And then you've got your kitchen counter, your kitchen appliances, your kitchen cabinets. Your kitchen has to be at least above average. If you don't have granite or quartz on a kitchen counter, then that's going to be part of your next rehab. Kitchen appliances, whether they're stainless, black or white, you want all of them to match. And then with your kitchen cabinets, you can often prime and paint the cabinets for about 25% the cost of replacing them, but you want nice cabinets. And then with lighting, I always recommend to owners recessed lights in the living room, the family room, and the bedrooms, because homes built in the 60s and 70s did not have lights in the bedrooms. When you turn on the switch, you've got to plug in lamps to get any kind of lighting in the rooms. So everybody is putting in recessed lights. And then also you want to address your acoustical ceilings if that's in your budget. And then paint, of course, in the interior. Paint, we always recommend a neutral color like a bone color for the walls, and then a more of a white color. Swiss coffee for the doors and the baseboards. Speaking of baseboards, you want to go with 3.5-inch baseboards rather than the skinny, ugly 1-inch baseboards that came in homes back in the 60s and 70s. And if you look around at your neighbors, you'll see that probably 80% of them have double pane windows. So if your home is still using single pane windows, between tenants is when you want to consider dual pane windows. Your tenants will appreciate it. It will save them money on their energy costs. They're quieter. And of course, you're adding value back to the home by changing out your windows. And then in your bathrooms, you want to look at your toilets. We always like to replace them between tenants with a low flow toilet. And you want to look at your shower pan. You want to look at your bathtub. Sometimes you can refinish your bathtub much cheaper than replacing it. And of course, your vanity and faucets. So the average rehab cost here in the East Bay for a rental home, at least the ones I manage, are right around $25,000. Some rehab is only several thousand, but oftentimes rehab can be $40,000, $45,000, but the average is $25,000 to address all the items that I just mentioned to you. And owners will often say, Mike, $25,000, you got to be kidding. Why would I do that? Why would I come up with that kind of money? Well, number one, you're going to get a lot more rent if you invest in rehab. Typical home before rehab might be renting for $2,800 to a tenant. We do the rehab, now we're able to get $3,100 or $3,200. So over 3 or 4 or 5 years, you're recouping with additional rent all your rehab costs. And then after that, it's all profit because you're Laminate floors are going to last longer than 4 or 5 years, as are your kitchen counters, as are your new bathroom. So all that is profit. So you're getting certainly more rent, and that will pay for the rehab. But in addition, you're adding value back to the home. On average here in the Bay Area, for every dollar that you spend on rehab, you're adding about $1.20 in value to the home. Where in the world can you get a 20% return on investment? Not any investments that I'm aware of that are legal, but with rehab, that's what you can average. And then the most important benefit is that you're going to get a higher quality tenant. That's because an average rental home is going to attract an average tenant. But a good rental home is going to attract a good tenant. A good tenant with a 700 plus credit score and great income has lots of options. Homes all around you have the kind of upgrades that I'm talking about, and that's the kind of tenant you want. You don't want an average tenant with a 600 credit score. That kind of tenant is going to give you problems, and life is too short for both you and I to be dealing with average tenants. So if you have any questions regarding rehab, I'd love to come visit your home between tenants. I'll bring my display board. We'll talk about all the possibilities. Call me. I'm Mike at 510-996-3238.